Think about someone you dislike, someone you hate, someone you despise, and now ask yourself, do you hate them enough to become a Nazi? And of course, the Reverse Flash does, as he teams up with Nazi Arrow and Nazi Supergirl. So let's talk about it. We start off at Barry's wedding, and I gotta be real, it's looking beautiful. Such a blissful event. What could possibly go wrong? Nah, bro. The pastor got eviscerated. Bro was just a bystander. But sadly, we can't worry about him right now because Nazis pull up, crashing the party, and they start letting it rip. But Barry pulls up, catching the bullets. And then we see Gramps and Uncle Drew. And these boys hit the coldest fusion. A sensational dap-up, transcending you into the ultimate being. Bro, that was heat. Imagine if Goku and Vegeta did this. Rather than touching tips, we check on Caitlin, and she becomes Killer Frost. And Killer Frost is not worried about the Nazis.
Where did she get these outfits?
She's worried about her drip. That's main character energy. And now we see Sarah putting in that work and looking good while doing it. But unfortunately, Sarah has her hands full, so she can't save this poor woman. And she's about to get lit up. But don't forget, Barry isn't the only speedster. Wally comes in catching the bullets and throws them back at the Nazis, causing their guns to explode. And now we see Supergirl and Evil Kara. And they speed blitz each other, flying through the roof. But Evil Kara sends Supergirl crashing down. And look at how she pulled back up. I can't lie, Supergirl might be cooked because she gets pinned to the wall. And Evil Kara's about to end her career. But Supergirl weaves it and follows up with a superb uppercut, sending Evil Kara flying. Back to Sarah, she hits a Hurricane Rana and knees this goon's skull. The move was so nice that an upper rank had to pull up. But forget all that, because finally, we see the man who became someone else. The man who became something else. Oliver Queen. And he's putting that ball to work. Evil Arrow tries shooting Wells, but all he shoots is Arrow, saving Wells' life. And look at the nod of respect. Bro, that's so cold. Back to Sarah, and she says,
Wanna fight?
now, I'm not gonna lie. If I heard that, I'm switching sides. That's an opportunity I refuse to miss. But Tommy doesn't feel the same. Oh yeah, this guy is Tommy Merlin. And they start 2v1ing Tommy. And I can't lie, Tommy is making them work. Back to Supergirl. She's having a beam clash with Evil Kara. We check on Wally, and he's using that speed to the fullest, getting an instant 3-piece. Evil Arrow tries shooting Wally, but Wally catches that. And bro, I know this guy's a Nazi, but I just can't help it. Because Nazi Arrow knew that Wally would catch it and electrocutes him, taking Wally out to fight. This man, Oliver Queen, defeated Wally West and Barry Allen. Bro, check the resume. Ollie is like that. Good Ollie sees this, and he's impressed, but he's also focused and tells Cisco to breach him to Evil Arrow. And Ollie comes in busting, but Evil Arrow blocks that, and these boys get to boxing. But back to Sarah, they're cooking this fool. The chemistry is amazing, and they effortlessly lay Tommy out. But back to what we came here for. Ollie and Evil Arrow are running a beautiful fade, but Evil Arrow gets the advantage. We check on Supergirl, and she gets thrown back into the building. And look at how Evil Kara comes in. All that ore farming is eventually gonna cost you. See? Told you. And then Kara picks her up and hits her with a gut check, causing Evil Arrow to tell his team to fall back, ending their first meeting. But before we go to the next fight, we see that Evil Arrow and Evil Kara are working with the Reverse Flash. And he's livid because apparently they weren't supposed to attack yet. But Evil Kara says, calm down. And that they will spin the block. And they spun the block immediately. The team gets footage of Nazis breaking into some random place. So you already know what's about to go down. Supergirl pulls up, Flash pulls up, and all— wait, where's— oh. That must suck.
Just a quick reminder, super speed. I don't have it.
But he's still the most valuable person on the team, so that's all that matters. And then they get greeted by their evil counterparts, who finally reveal themselves. Flash is shocked. Supergirl is terrified. But look at Ollie. He's not even surprised, because he knew the only person that can match him arrow for arrow is himself. And now it's time to brawl. Barry starts chasing Reverse Flash, and Ollie draws the ball on Evil Kara, and she's trying to little boy Ollie.
And what do you think that's going to do? Bullets bounce off of me.
Arrow won't.
But little did she know, she's dealing with the man who became someone else. She's dealing with the man who became something else. And Ollie lets it rip, and the arrow starts opening up, becoming a kryptonite arrow, and hits Evil Kara, leaving her in shock, Evil Arrow in shock, and even Supergirl's in shock, asking Ollie,
why do you have a kryptonite arrow?
In case an evil you ever showed up.
Supergirl gets heated and flies up, ready to kill Ollie. But Kara comes in and blows her and all that confidence she had away. We check on Barry, and he just got bodied. And since the Nazis got what they came here for and took out Barry, they forced Team Arrow to choose: save these worthless civilians or catch them. And you already know what Team Arrow chose. Ollie helps Barry up, and these boys book it to the building. Supergirl being super, Flash being speedy, and dog, look at this. Look at the camera work on Ollie. And he starts putting in that work, stabilizing the building. And after saving these civilians, it's time for Team Arrow to spin the block. And they get suited up. Peep the walkout. They even got bench players looking like starters. I can't lie, this is cold. They pull up to the function and are immediately greeted by Nazis. But Barry speed blitz all of them. That's going in an inconsistent montage. But we can't dwell on that because there's more enemies incoming. But this time, Flash can't speed blitz all of them because Reverse Flash pulls up and the chase begins. Bro, this should have happened at the wedding. But instead, Barry just chose to catch bullets. But with Barry gone, it's up to Ollie and the rest to handle these goons. And luckily, they've been here before. We got Ollie saucing on these nobodies. Even the baddie's putting in work. And peep how she leaves Supergirl. We see S.T.A.R, and I don't know how bro went flying from a leg strike, but I'm gonna let it knee slide. But I don't know if you guys noticed, the Nazis are missing a member, and that's Evil Arrow. And then we see where he's at, and he's pulling up to S.T.A.R Labs by himself. Bro, this is such a hard pull up. And then he's met with Wells, and Evil Arrow allows Wells to push the emergency button before knocking him out. This man wanted everyone in that building to know that he's coming. Back to the war, S.T.A.R knocks out 2 goons before hitting the most useless backflip I ever seen. Another goon runs up, but he gets that same treatment. We check on Ollie, and this man just hit a sweet chin music. Everyone's showing out right now. The move was so nice that it caught Evil Kara's attention, and she had to sneak Ollie. Laying man's out, down for the count, but Ollie opens his eyes and sees that S.T.A.R is banging with Evil Kara. Did S.T.A.R get some type of power up I don't know about? Ollie takes another glance, and S.T.A.R is pinned against the wall, and Ollie, seeing a baddie in danger, instantly locks in. Ollie begins to stand and fires a shot at... Yeah, Ollie might be cooked, is what I would have said if I was a fool. Evil Kara tries to laser Ollie, but he leaves it and tags Supergirl in. We check back on Evil Arrow, and he's greeted by the flamethrower guy. And did this man did he dodge fire with a flip? I guess those flips are necessary. Evil Arrow shoots an arrow that ties up the flamethrower guy, but little did he know, Killer Frost was behind him and starts freezing his bow, transferring to his arm. It might be over for... This man may be a Nazi, but he's moving so cold. Pun intended. And after taking out Caitlin, this man starts feeling himself and says...
Anyone else want to be a hero?
And the answer is yes, because Ollie's sidekicks pull up just to get cooked, showing them it's about quality, not quantity. And peep the highlight intro man's hit. Back to the war, we see Ollie cooking the last few Nazis, and now Team Arrow is grouped up, but the job's not finished because we hear something approaching, and it's just RGB2. They'll be fine. Supergirl gets blasted away with ease by a tin can. You should be ashamed of yourself. Firestorm tries sliding, but Mans gets punched out of fusion. And with all the heroes that have powers out for the count, Evil Kara and Reverse Flash start eating, taking out everyone. But Ollie is having a last stand. He grabs his bow, but before he can fire it, he gets stomped out by RGB2. And they have all these boys locked up. And Reverse Flash is loving this. And then Evil Kara and Evil Arrow pull up. Evil Kara collapses, but Evil Arrow gives her some words of strength, giving her the energy to stand once again. And then Evil Arrow tells everyone, S.T.A.R Labs is secure. Flash comes in saying,
S.T.A.R Labs is secure. If you hurt my friends...
I did hurt your friends.
I really enjoyed hurting your friends.
And then Ollie tells Evil Arrow,
I'm gonna kill you. I won't. You weak.
and I think that hurt Ollie because that came from himself. And then we find out their motive, to take Supergirl's heart and give it to Evil Kara. And the only reason they didn't kill them yet is because they're more valuable as leverage, which is a fancy way of saying plot. The only person they needed was Supergirl, and actually they didn't even leverage them. They sent them to Earth X to be executed. And long story short, that didn't happen, and they come back to Earth 1 for the final war. The final war begins, and we see Nazis raining havoc on civilians. Look at how Arrow smacked this dude, and then disarms this cop with one hand. Evil Arrow looks up and sees Team Arrow walking up, and yeah, this looks awesome. But where's the urgency? The Nazis run up, and the clash begins. The first thing we see is S.T.A.R putting in that work. Nazis letting it rip, using everything in their arsenal to kill one person? Bro, that's pathetic. And they don't even get the kill because Wild Dog saved him. And the battlefield is intense. Everyone is playing their part. And then we see Flash versus Reverse Flash, and they're moving beautifully. We check on Ollie and Evil Arrow, and these boys are boxing on top of a truck. What made them do this? Anyways, Kara pulls up on Evil Kara, and these boys start running a Dragon Ball Z fade. We check it back on Flash, and he hits Thawne with an uppercut. Got man's floating in the air. We use the kick, and this heats up Thawne. He picks Barry up and starts dragging him. Barry got dragged by Zoom, Savitar, and now Thawne. Bro, you've got to get your weight up. And then these boys run up a building before colliding, and Barry came out on top, pinning Thawne to the wall, ready to kill him.
End it. End it!
But Barry lets him go, and Thawne dips. We see Evil Kara, and she's having a meltdown, and is about to explode. No wonder she wanted Kara's heart. Bro, this looks painful, but there's no saving her now. Supergirl flies her up, and away from everyone, taking Evil Kara to space, where she will go on to explode. Evil Arrow hears the explosion, and immediately understands what happened. He turns his back and falls to his knees, and Ollie points the bow, ready to shoot. Evil Arrow faces Ollie and gets shot in the heart. He had his heart broken and died to a heart shot. And notice how Ollie didn't shoot him until he turned around. This man Ollie is so goated. And then we see Kara falling, but she gets caught by this random benchwarmer. And with that, Crisis on Earth X concludes. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Peace.